Hey PJs, welcome back to another video. In today's short video, I'm going to be adding too much shaving foam to slime. I believe I only did one other video kind of like this where I added like a bunch of random things to slime, and just basically the point is to add too much to where like the texture is pretty much something you can't play with, or it's like not ideal, and you just kind of see what it turns into. I just have this regular slime to work with. It is slightly underactivated because I know working with shaving foam like a long time ago when I was like making fluffy slime and stuff, shaving foam has a tendency to kind of activate slimes, make them a little bit stiff and stuff. So I just wanted to start out with an underactivated slime, and honestly, with the way this turns out, I should have had a slime that was much more underactivated because it turns into a giant mess. So my plan was to flatten out the slime to give the shaving foam room to kind of sit on it to hopefully reduce the amount of mess, and then just kind of pull it over the shaving cream and mix it in that way. And if you've never like played with a fluffy slime or made it or anything, I think it's one of my favorites ever to make because the texture is just so soft and plush, and it does make a huge mess, especially if you're adding as much as I did. Please don't, but if you're adding a big amount, it's gonna make a mess, but it's like so fun to just like squeeze through the shaving foam. It just feels so nice, and I like the ASMR it creates because there's like little crackles kind of. But as I was mixing this, I realized my mistake almost immediately. Like, the shaving foam was really taking over, and when you add something that has like a high volume to it, kind of like water, like the more you add to the slime, the less slime like it's going to be because it's taking over the stretchiness of the slime, because there's like not a lot of slime here basically is what I'm saying to shaving foam, so it's a lot harder to stretch and stuff. And I added way too much from the get-go. I usually have a problem with not adding enough when I do like adding too much types of things, but this one I added way too much. I was struggling. Like, this was pretty much as the slime could handle, and it was just ripping, and it felt cool because it was like stringy as it was ripping, which is okay, I guess, but it's not really what I was going for. Yeah, I added too much to it, so kind of goal accomplished, but I also wanted it to be able to be played with still, so not like super far into adding too much, if that makes sense. So I did end up adding some extra slime to try and help it, because I was like, okay, if I add more slime, then maybe it'll just get stretchier. That was a bad idea because it took forever for me to actually be able to mix it in, and it just added to the volume of the slime. So you'll see me add that slime in a little bit, and then after that, since I realized it wasn't really helping any, I decided to add a lot of glycerin, like a lot. Usually you'll only have to use a little bit to soften a slime, but this really needed help. I added 3 different like sections of glycerin, and it wasn't a small amount. It was a pretty big chunk of glycerin. My end goal was to make the slime extremely sticky, which I do actually accomplish that because I wanted to add more shaving foam, because technically I didn't add a lot of shaving foam from the beginning. It was just that like the slime was too activated and I might have added too much shaving foam at once. I just wanted to add more because I was like, I used to make fluffy slimes all the time. This isn't really how they turn out. I don't know exactly what happened, but it's not how they normally turn out. I was like, you know, slimes can usually handle a lot more shaving foam, so I wanted to add more. So I was like, okay, I'll make it sticky and then add more shaving foam, which is what I did, and then ended up adding like a lot of shaving foam because it like took on a lot more than I thought it would, and still wanted it to be adding too much. I didn't want it to just be a regular fluffy slime, and then I ended up creating like a huge chunk of slime like at the end. It was so much. Like, with fluffy slime I make way too much, which I haven't made fluffy slime in years, but like I remember all the big batches I used to make because it just, there's like so much because of like all the shaving foam that's added and stuff. That and like icy slimes and cloud slimes, I seem to overmake what I need because it just adds so much to the slime. This process was already hectic, but it gets even more hectic. I started adding little spurts of activator because I was like, okay, it's still too sticky and I don't want to add any more shaving foam. And the spurts weren't working, so I just started dumping the activator in, and it's the activator I got a while ago from a shop I reviewed that has like little glitter hearts in it. I was like, you know what? It's fine. It's gonna look pretty with the little glitter hearts in it. Like, there wasn't much I could do from here. But I just started adding that until it was pretty much to the point where I could play with it. It's still sticky, and kind of leaves residue, but that's kind of an aspect of adding too much shaving foam. And yeah, I mean, it's bouncy, it's fun to smack around, but it was a process. If you've never made fluffy slime before, please don't let this deter you. It is so fun to make, and I'm telling you, squeezing through the shaving foam is one of my favorite parts. Like, it's okay to get messy if it does, you know? Like, sometimes getting messy is fun. That sounds weird, but, you know, it's fun, and it makes a really nice puffy type of texture, and it's like one of the OG textures. Everybody should try it. If you made it this far, comment down below what else I should add too much of. Now I am signing off, and I will see you guys in the next one.